what else to say. No. They want to sing some more Christmas carols, but I think we'll wait until we get on the other side. We've had quite a time this Christmas getting ready. I don't know, it seems like Christmas has slipped up so quick that I don't know of anybody, only one person I've talked to that has all their Christmas shopping completely completed. But I guess we'll make it. We're going to be staying home for Christmas Day and be just a family. If this weather keeps up, we'll all be glad to stay home. It's really snowing. I don't know what's the matter, but Bob's sitting here making faces and rubbing his jaw like he was like something was wrong. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but I guess it's all right. Oh yeah, Sue wants me to tell you about Father Vollmer. He came over last night and brought me his usual little gift of his parents happen to own a big bakery, and he brought me a fruit cake and some cookies, and he said that was just in appreciation for all those things I've done. I help him correct school papers, and I help him correct his convert papers, and I do typing, cut stencils for him and whatnot. So he said that was an appreciation, and then he's offering remembering us in his 3 masses on Christmas Day, the whole family. And we got kind of a laugh out of it because usually he's a very formal type of person, or he has been up until recently, and he always signed it Father William Vollmer. This year he signed it Father Bill Vollmer, and Bob says the first time he sees him, he's going to walk up and say, "Well, hi, Father Bill," see what happens. It could be kind of amusing because I don't know how he'll take it. Well, this seems like an awfully long tape for some reason or other. Goodbye. Well, that was a record that my daughters got for me last year for Christmas, and I thought I'd let you hear what their taste in music was. I got kind of a kick out of it when I heard it. I thought it was kind of cute. I started to tell you about yesterday. It was quite a day. Linda had to make cookies, and I'm a lousy cookie baker. So the neighbor lady came. She's just a young woman, real good friend of ours, and she came over, and she helped Linda make the cookies that she has to take. She and her group are going to an old folks home tonight and take them cookies and sing Christmas carols for them. Last night, as I said, Patty's group went out caroling around the neighborhood of this one lady's house, and we went about 5 or 6 blocks, it seemed like. Either that or they're awful long blocks. And we were singing, and we had a lot of fun, but the one that got me was we came to this one beautiful home and had a picture window that was almost as big as our whole front porch. And they had a wreath that was about 4 foot across in the window. And the old fellow that apparently lived there heard us singing, but he couldn't see us very well because he had the bright lights on inside. So he came over to the window, you know how you will, and poked his face up, and as he did, he put his head right in the wreath, and I said it was just like, almost like seeing old Santa Claus himself. Also, the girls had quite an experience. On the way, about a block out of our way from where we were singing carols, the Episcopal nuns have an orphanage. It's called St. Anne's School. It's also a day school, too. And we said, well, wouldn't it be nice to go over and sing Christmas carols for the nuns over there? So we did. And when we got up by the door and was singing, the door opened, and one of the nuns invited all of the girls in. There were about 24 of us, counting the leaders. And we went in, and they had us sing 3 Christmas carols for them. And then they gave us each a holy card. And I think it was quite an experience because some of our girls are pretty little. We had bluebirds and we had campfire girls. Just a minute, Bob wants to say another word.
I'm not trying to hog this tape altogether, but on the other side, I forgot to thank you and Mary Ann for a very, very nice time down there and for your hospitality. I certainly appreciate it, and I think my whole family did. Other than that, if you get a report on the cardiograph, I would appreciate hearing from you in regard to it as soon as it's convenient for you. I'll turn this back to Gaines, and let her talk to you.
You get a hold of this microphone and you don't know what to say. I'm at a loss for words. We had a little neighborhood party Saturday night. Some of the neighbors decided to bring their food over, and we put it together and cooked it on the charcoal, and then the boys played horseshoes out here until it got dark, and then they put up the floodlights and decided they were going to play some more. We had quite a neighborhood full for a while, but then things quieted down about 10 o'clock, and we watched a movie, and we've been taking it pretty easy since we came home. We did go out and play bingo Monday night, and I won myself $10. For this time, I'll let the rest of the family do most of the talking. Next time, I'll get it to myself and sit here and talk my heart to content. So good night. We'll be seeing you. God bless you.
Of the disability cases in Missouri.
Warm enough yet? Well, Marianne and Al, we arrived home safe and sound. However, we did have a little trouble with the car at Owensville, Missouri. I pulled up to the stop sign there, went to start, the motor killed out, and could not restart. One of your good citizens from Missouri, which was a young man that belongs to a car club down there, come over and asked us if what was the trouble, if he could assist us in any way. I told him that this motor would absolutely refuse to start. So he says, well, I've got a friend here, and he went and got a car, pulled us into the garage. After we got in there, they tried about everything in the world to get the thing started, and it would not start. Well, the final outcome of it was we were forced to put a new condenser and new points in. Well, this took quite a bit of time, so consequently we didn't get very far that day. However, we did get as far as Columbia, Missouri. Anyhow, we stayed in Columbia overnight, and Gaines will tell you all about our motel on her little talk with you. We left Columbia 4 o'clock Saturday, or what was it? Wednesday morning, wasn't it? Yeah, Wednesday morning. We arrived home that night around 7:45. Had good luck all the way. Weather was beautiful, not very warm. In fact, we had about 2 hours, I would say, that was actually a little bit uncomfortable. The rest of the trip was, the weather was beautiful. When we arrived home, I expected, like I said when I left you folks down there, to find all the roofs beat off. Well, I guess the good Lord was with us. We had no damage whatsoever. However, Gaines is mailing to you some pictures of what did actually happen here in Denver while we were gone. Now, about 3 blocks down the street from us, they had a terrific amount of damage. Down in Englewood itself, I understand that some of the apartment stores and larger places down there had water damage due to the tremendous amount of water that fell, and they told us it was 3 inches. However, I went out and back, and I had a barrel sitting out there, and incidentally, I use it for beer bottles. But anyway, it was sitting out there, and it was absolutely empty. When I came back and went out there and looked, I would say that there was at least 4 inches of water in this barrel. So you know that they had a lot of water had fell at the time of the hailstorm. I was speaking with a fellow today on my travels around in the territory, that had a little Jaguar. He was coming down the street at the time of the storm, and the rain had already fallen, and there was a big iceberg coming at him that was at least, he said, 6 foot in diameter, coming down the street right at him, which is hail that had accumulated and made into one large chunk of ice. He says, I didn't have a chance to get out of the way. He says, the only thing I did, he says, I pulled right up on the sidewalk, and he says, made a big dash, and he says, it went by me. He says, if it had hit me, he says, I wouldn't have a Jaguar today. Well, that is just some of the things that has happened here during that storm. Other people have had cars that were completely turned around in the street. They have had some of them that were piled on top of each other. Others were turned around completely in the street. Some of them had been going down. In fact, in one area, they had 19 feet of water. One fellow come down there with one of these little foreign jobs, and he was floating on top of the water, and he didn't know where he was going. But other than that, I mean, we were very, very fortunate to get out of it such as we did. You talk about your business being slow. Mine is very, very slow at the present time. We are still looking for another salesman. We are unable to find one, or have been up to today. I hope very soon that we get another one. It will relieve some of the pressure on me, but until we do, things are going to be kind of rough. I don't know. I've been watching this tape here, and it's getting down quite a ways. Maybe I'm going to have to sign off here in about 2 minutes and let somebody else take over. The weather here has been extremely hot for Colorado. We've been, in fact, today it was 91 degrees, and today they put another water restriction on us. Now we are only allowed to water every other day, 4 hours at a watering, which I don't see how I can keep my lawns going or keep them green with just that small amount of water. However, we're going to try the best we can. There's nothing else we can do, because it is much better to go to the water tap and get a drink of water than to turn it on and there's nothing there. So I'll say good night. Good morning, Al, Marianne, and Kitty. This is July the 14th, and it is now exactly 8:45. We have just returned from church. We've just had our breakfast. Everyone here was fine. We received your tape yesterday, which we appreciated very much. I think that this passing tapes back and forth is about the nicest way of communicating that I know of. It seems so good to hear your voices come into our home here. The weather here has been very hot and very dry. We have had very little moisture outside of just a couple of showers, but when they did come, I understand, I was out of town, I was in Wyoming, and I understand that when they did come, it come down in pretty good shape. However, Gaines can probably give you a little bit more information on that than I can, because, like I said, I was out of town. We are planning, if things develop the way they should, and we hope they do, that we are going to drive to Douglas, Wyoming, possibly on the 27th of this month. And Nan and Pop are to meet us there. In other words, we are waiting now at the present time for a tape back from them to let us know whether they can come or not. We will leave here, I will say, around about 3 o'clock in the morning, and it's only about a 4-hour drive. So we will get in there, say, about 7 o'clock in the morning, and possibly spend a half an hour with them before they leave and probably have something to eat, and then come on back I'll come back, and Gaines will go on down there and be down there probably for at least a week, whatever time she wants to spend there. Where I'm going on the balance of my vacation, I don't know. When I'm going to be able to get away, I don't know either, because things are really in a humdrum over at our place where I'm working. We're so short of help in regard to sales lines that we just don't know which way to turn anymore. I'm still having to cover up, take double territories and things like that. I don't know when we will be able to replace this man, if ever. I don't know, the girls are here yakking in the background. They're saying I'm not touching the lines or something here, but I'm hoping this is coming through. She just changed the volume on here again. Now, I don't know whether this will come through better or not. At least I hope so. We're still more or less experimenting with this machine. If I knew all well, they sure got this thing messed up here now, believe me. Well, I'll try it over. The lines were intersecting here. Maybe this is a little bit better. I don't know. What have you folks been doing to keep out of mischief, if anything? If you've been behaving yourself, well, you aren't having very much fun. That's what I'm doing. I'm behaving myself, and believe me, it's murder, I'll tell you.